I'm Joanne Banko from Let's Go Sew. If you're anything like me, you might always be on the hunt for some great gift ideas. Well, today I've got two of them for you. One from the sewing side of the machine and one on the embroidery side of the machine. And today we're talking about coasters. I love creating coasters. They're just a perfect gift for almost anybody that you could possibly think of. They're a great little item to tuck in a gift card or make up a little basket, add a mug, add some treats, and you can really make a really nice, hey, I'm just thinking of you today gift. So let's get started with the first one, which is a Crazy Quilt patchwork design. And I love crazy quilting. It's so much fun to use a lot of different fabric pieces and little scraps, little itty bitty pieces that really have not a lot of use elsewhere. And so I've got one here in this holiday theme, but I've also got one more of a little bit of a spring theme that I'm going to show you with my pieces and parts. So this is batik fabric, and one of the great things about batik fabric is it really has no discernible right and wrong side. So this is a little bit like putting a jigsaw puzzle together, so that's going to be really, really helpful when you're putting it together, and you don't have to be too picky. You just pick whatever side fits. So let me show you all the different pieces and parts to this. We're going to start out with what I call a foundation piece. And what I've done is I've just made up my own crazy quilt pattern. Typically crazy quilts have this kind of shape in the middle, and then some triangles, just some geometric shapes that work around it. But you can make anything you want, any size you want. As far as size goes for the actual coaster, I usually stick between about 4 to 6 inches, maybe 5 as an average, but really personal preference. So I start out with that foundation piece, and then I would print another one. You can print it from paper or trace another one and use that for my actual pattern pieces. So once I've got all my pattern pieces, then I can cut my fabric. And again, that's the beauty of the batik fabric, is I don't have to worry about right and wrong. If you are using a fabric that has a right and wrong, then make sure you cut every piece with the right side facing up so that it matches your puzzle when you're all finished. Ask me how I know that one. So I've created my pieces. Now the very next step is to secure my pieces to my foundation. And I like to do that just with an ordinary glue stick. It works really, really well. This is just, basically like an interfacing that I'm going to be able to, to trace right on. So I've got my tracing all done here. You can see if I pull that up, you can peek a little bit at my tracing. And now I'm just taking my pieces and literally putting them into position. And I'm ready to go stitch this in just a minute. But in order to give that just a little bit of puff, I'm going to use some batting. So I've got a layer of batting here. I'm going to scoot over to the machine, and we'll just get set up here really quick for decorative stitching. Now I'm going to go into the menu. I've already got a feather stitch selected. That'll be absolutely perfect. I've got a laser that I can use on this machine. If not, if I don't have a laser, then I can just use the center of the foot. And I'm literally just going to go down across that fabric so that where the two raw edges are butting up together, I'm covering that. Now I, am thinking this isn't a garment. It's not going to be something that's washed and worn and washed and worn. So I don't have to be too fussy about that really being anchored. But I'm just going to, go ahead and go around. If you see, I got a beautiful stitch there. Then I can do another line. I can pick another joining type stitch. You can use zigzags, decorative stitches, satin stitches, anything that you really like. It gives you a really good chance to play with your decorative stitches and have some fun with that. So I would just keep going around, go all around those patches until I've got every one of those covered. Now let's go back over to the table, and I'll show you how we put that together to finish up. So here we go. Here is my finished piece, all layered, all stitched with beautiful, beautiful embroidery thread, layered with my batting, layered with then my lining. And if you choose to, you might want to make this waterproof. If you're doing it for a lot of cold drinks, you might want to do that. So you could add a layer of vinyl, clear vinyl, either inserted in the middle or layered on the back, so that creates that waterproof effect there. And then it's up to you how you want to finish it. There's a variety of ways you can do that. You could line it, so we could sew this piece right sides together, turn it right side out, close the opening, and we're good to go. Or you can do what I did on my little holiday theme set here, which is to serge finish all around that raw edge with some heavy decorative thread. So there you are, good to go. We're ready now to move over and look at my embroidery version. So if you have embroidery options on your machine, you can do a lot of different things, and embroidered coasters just look really, really sharp. I've got a set here, and then I've got, you know, different ones that are ready to give as gifts with one great big giant initial on there. So let me talk about how I did that one. Each one of them there was done with some simple materials. Plain old ordinary marine vinyl, comes in lots of different colors, highly available. We're gonna hoop a piece of cutaway. We're gonna tape the four corners with some nice tape here that's gonna hold really well. Then we're gonna stitch our monogram design on just that single layer. Then we're gonna take a second piece of vinyl, tape it to the back, stitch the outline that finishes it, and when we're all done, all we need to do is take scissors or maybe a rotary cutter and a ruler, trim all the way evenly around that shape. One thing you want to absolutely remember is when you do switch with your embroidery threads for that final stitching, take a look at that one there. First of all, I wanted it to match my vinyl pretty good, but I also wanted to remember to wind a bobbin with the same color that's in the top. So that's it. It's easy to make your own wonderful, fabulous coasters. Make them as gifts, give them to friends and people you love, and have fun.